Thanks for staying with us. So recently, the Supreme Court affirmed the financial autonomy of Nigeria's 774 local governments. Subsequently, the bill seeking to establish a local government independent electoral commission passed its first reading at the Senate. If the bill is passed, the Senate independent electoral commissions will be replaced by the National Independent Local Government Electoral Commission. That's NILGEC. So later on the show, hopefully we'll be trying to get our Senator Sani Musa, who is expected to join us this morning, to shed some light on this. Hopefully before the end of the show, we can bring him on board. We'd like to hear Nigeria's thoughts on this. Currently, we have all the various chapters in the state having their own independent electoral commissions, but now there's going to be, they're hoping that the National Assembly, the Senate will pass a law to get NILGEC, that's the Nigerian Independent Local Government Election Commission, to run the elections. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 081-0764 1679 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read the tweets. What are your thoughts on this? Because, I mean, many of us have be familiar with these local governments. Different states hold different elections, different times. You know, some they do 3 years, some they do 2 years, some they do 4 years. Depends on the side the governor is waking up on. Okay, no, you, I'm sacking you this, So it has never been uniform. So do you think that this new, if approved by the Senate, would it be better, or do you think we should make it in, state by state based on their requirements or their needs? How do you think?
The level of psychophancy in politics in Nigeria that scares me when it comes to the level of grassroots politics. If already, as it is now, governor can do no wrong, you now bring local government now with their autonomies and you give them power to run their own elections, they will jack by a ballot box and kill somebody. That's the one that scares me. I hope that this is properly put together because there has to be a regulator. And INEC cannot now say that subnationals are fully established by law to run their elections. I want to see the content of that act, of the law, when it is passed. Because it scares me to imagine national whatever for local government election. Finally running there. So I become chairman of Bariga NILGEC. Of course, the chairman or whoever is substantive chairman or who is, what do they call it, someone that is already in office, who is incumbent, has to be a friend or is in trouble. Or if he has his successor picked out, he has to be a friend. Because when I'm running the election, I'm looking at him like this. If I am not somebody who's God-fearing enough, who's transparent, who has all the integrity enough, and my integrity is fulfilling enough for me, with this Nigeria of materialism we are running now, it's the highest bidder that goes. Yeah. So the autonomy that local governments deserve has been given to them. They, yes, as a government in a federal system, has to be on their own, but then the checks have to increase. All the balances, all the regulations that we have to put has to widen. It has to be bigger than what we even have in the federal. Because what we are dealing with in the federal is not even as bad when it comes to local government.
But why are we preempting that already? Because that's the issue with our country. Because that's what happened with the state police. Once you give them power to have state police, they'll do this. Why are we preempting the worst? Why don't we at least let this thing function as we expect it to function and not assume?
You know, if you're living in heaven, you cannot preempt that there'll be boreholes. If you live, it's just where you come from. So there are some of these things you call out because you're used to saying that. And then when you ask those questions, it's to see what has been put in place to mitigate that. But also for me, I don't even see the need. Because for me, this is another just waste of resources for this new commission for the local government. For me, it's just a waste. Empower INEC to do it. There's already a structure on ground. There are people employed for this. Let them do that. So now we're going to have a whole new commission. We're going to employ more people. We're going to start paying salaries. I mean, all the other things. I just don't want this good news of financial autonomy for the local government to now be embroiled in all these extra things. And that was my fear from the beginning, that the fact that they have got financial autonomy does now not create, I hope it does not create monsters of that. And for me, giving this body or this commission I think it's a waste. Just go with INEC. Now INEC knows what to do. It's in charge of making sure that those who are supposed to be elected in that office are elected. You've taken it away from the state, and that's how it should remain. Simple.
My thoughts exactly. Why not INEC? That's the question. We already have a body that is charged with running elections. They have been doing it for years. They're equipped for it. Why are we looking at getting another body? Are you saying because it's grassroots now, it's not as technical as that of the state or the federal? No, it's the same thing. It's the same because they still have the same system of government, whether it's the federal, it's the state, and it's the local government. And so if the federal can have INEC, the state can have INEC, why not the local government? That's also a way of saving costs if we stick to INEC. Instead of, like you just rightly mentioned, we now have to start employing new people, start doing training, it will take us years again for them to even get their acts together. We struggled over the years with INEC till we now started saying that, okay, they are improving day by day. Do we have that time to do all of that? I think it's just INEC. We should even not think about this. We should not consider it. We should scrap it. We should not allow the meeting committees to be set up to be deliberating it. Nigerians should say, no, we want INEC to handle all the elections. It's just adding more to their purview. Now they know that, okay, they have 3 arms of government that they will be catering to, and then equip them the more, and that's it.
So, I mean, when I went down and I'm looking at all the various, the functions and powers of this proposed commission, obviously to conduct free and fair, transparent elections, prepare, maintain an accurate, up-to-date voter register, similar to what INEC does, to ensure voter education and public awareness, to enforce electoral guidelines and regulations for local government elections, to recruit and train electoral officers, same thing. So it's a duplication of effort. So we're saying that it should be an extension of INEC somewhat. So they will have to consist of the chairperson and 6 commissioners appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. The chairperson and commissioners shall serve for 5 years, renewable ones. So
it shouldn't be an extension. You know, we are collapsing MDAs now. We're collapsing ministries, departments, and agencies. Why are we creating other ones? We're collapsing, so it shouldn't be an extension. INEC should just add to their purview. We now have local governments added to us.
Does INEC have the capacity to?
They have it.
74 local governments.
They have them.
They've always had the
chapters in Lagos.
Yes, in all these elections. But, you know, this brings us to this, we the people talk more. I'm going to have to support Moraya. You see, the fear is because we know ourselves. Have you ever witnessed a local government election in your local? Did you ever vote in local government elections? You see the people that come and vote, fear will not let you to queue. You cannot join the queen and bring out your cards that you have a say in who becomes your chairman. They come from, you know, it's now word by word. They have come home.
You know the people.
Their words. Oh, Bieda. You will see the queen and you just be going. Because you don't have the energy. And we know ourselves. That's why we will sit here. And something as laudable as a federal system where state government system is clear, is a federation, is scary
for local government.
To imagine.
But, you know, Nima, I like what you just said, because that system you just described will eventually regulate itself, because there are some local governments that will be daring enough to say, you know what, this is who we're going to bring in. What's this guy's name? The singer, Banky W. He was running for office. I mean, I'm just saying that there are other people even within other.
Let me make
my point. My point. Let's even leave
no,
Lagos.
Use a, what do you mean by that?
Let's even leave Lagos.
Use a tiosa.
Let's even leave Lagos. There will be some states where the people in the community, you know, I'm going to vote in Opiajulu, and we're all in agreement. And we now begin to see that local government change for the better. And then it makes national news that this local government in Plateau State is doing this. People, we begin to see, hey, are you sure once we're doing our Parappa level? Well, let's get somebody who can do what Obiajulu is doing in Plateau State.
Their own place.
Because the truth is that it will self-regulate. Because that is what we know. You're right. But eventually, when competition starts, because the local government will start to compete with each other.
Yeah, so
they will, and that's a healthy competition we need.
If they do.
I don't think it's by that commission that they'll compete with each other. I hope it is in the financial autonomy and how they spend their money that would show.
I'm saying, I'm talking about elections. I'm talking about
after the elections, they will do the work.
I'm talking about when she was talking about the fact that when people don't want to get involved in voting for local government chairman because they're afraid of the queues. Of those people. So I'm just saying that will self-regulate eventually when we start seeing competition across the country. That's the point.
So I agree if that's your point you're making. I agree that would eventually be the case. But so it also brought to me the fear that imagine having that and then having the local government commission created. The checks and balance will not be there. Do you understand? The person who has the money is the person who is doing the elections. Then who is going to check and balance it? So we will now determine who sits there, who collects the money, you know, and how the money is spent. So let the election body be independent of the local government, so that in that way we check that only the person that the people
voted
want
for
in there is there, and that when he gets there, then we have a body that the grassroots will make sure that he's spending, or they're spending, or she's spending the money where it is needed and where they have asked.
Let me take this call from Ademola. Thanks for calling, Ademola. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for your program. Oh, I think this Nigerian issue about duplicating every institution we have to be stopped. I think the National Electoral Commission should be able to handle this case. And I think in their new bill, they should put it in there like they do in America and UK. As they call it midterm elections. The local government should be done every two years before general elections. And we put it in the hands of the INEC, which should be the supervisor and the doctor of the election. I think doing that, we give all the clue what's going to happen in general election, whoever won some of the local government. Because putting it in the hands of the governor, I don't think that is not, doesn't make any sense at all. Because the manipulation is always too severe. So that's the only thing I need to contribute.
Thank you very much for your comments. We have to go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with our conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing the Election Commission for the local government, and we're hoping to have Senator Sani Musa at some point. We had invited him to be on this segment, but unfortunately we can't reach him, but we're hoping that very soon he can join us, because we'd like to also ask a few questions on the need to have a new commission to handle the local government, because one of the fear the Senate we've seen is that the INEC, if INEC, to answer your question, some fear the senators have is that if INEC was empowered, a constitutional amendment is required for them to be empowered to do local government. So they're afraid that the governors can truncate the plan if amendment gets to states, houses of assembly, hence the need to create a whole new body.
I disagree with that fear, because if they truncate it, those local governments will not get money. And most of them, it's their state, except, of course, they're saying, you know, they've already earmarked about 460-something local governments that were handled by caretaker committees, that if they don't change their leadership, they will not get their allocation. So the people who are in that, states who find their way into the Senate or House of Assembly would understand what is at stake, that if we are pushing this down the line, you are saying that you don't want these local governments to be developed. So I don't think that's fair enough for us to quickly create another body. I think it's just for Nigerians to understand that we have INEC, and that is their chief responsibility across all status levels of government, to make sure that the leadership is being handled. Elected leadership is what we have in those states, and just to enforce that. So I don't want us to just start expending the energy we do not have in creating another body where we can be focusing on good leadership and ensuring that INEC is equipped. We use, even the INEC itself, we're struggling to even equip them properly to handle all those. This is an opportunity to equip them the more so that they can do the job. That's just my take.
Alaji Rafiu. Thanks for calling, Alaji.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. You're live.
Yeah. On this topic that you are on,
yes,
election committee, if we're going to go by what is normal, the Nigerian Electoral Committee is enough to do all the job of elections in the whole country. The problem we have is me and you or me. In our own place, this is how we want it to be done. And it is the problem of...
We lost Alhaji Rafi. I think he was listening to himself on TV.
Since INEC can handle it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Handle
they
all
can.
these elections.
All elections that happen in the country.
Yes, what
you
is
think?
scary is if a local government has to fund its own elections. Now, what I mean is that just as the national government has to budget for the national elections, state governments will have their budget for state elections, for the card, for the printing, for the bloods, for the boxes, for the logistics, everything. Imagine. These are our local government with their whatever percent that they are getting, 10.2%.
And now budgeting for elections.
Budgeting for their elections. Chairman becomes extremely powerful.
Yeah.
And we know already, the independence of each.
Remember the amount of money that government even spent on the presidential election.
When they talk, so
that's a lot of money.
I go budget the one enough to buy. I go
Before.
I go budget.
Because we have people who are working in the state chapters of the commissions. Can they be effective in conducting these elections? Remember, we're also trying to get some kind of uniformity.
Yes.
To ensure that all the elections are run. But it's difficult to find uniformity because different state governments have different local governments at different points. So you can't have a uniform election across board.
The INEC chairman with the approval of the Senate. The state government does the same for each state with the approval of the Houses of Assembly. And local government too, with the approval of those their whatever parliament, they appoint their own. And then the funding. I just pray for a transparent and free, election-free experience with local governments. It will be a prayer and a wish.
Okay, so I got a question here. That what about the staff currently working in various state independent electoral commission? What should happen to them? Would they lose their jobs? I don't know.
That's if we're creating this new one.
No,
yes, we're going to be creating this new one.
They'll be substituting to INEC now.
So my own worry is, you see, for this local government to function properly, there has to be transparency in the electoral process. People must feel like, listen, the person who became local government is someone that we have elected, not the person, the governor. Because what we see, the trend, is the governor's person that becomes local government chairman.
No.
So the commission, whichever one eventually that the Senate agrees to go with, either NILGEC or INEC.
They should not agree now. Is that not what
either way. NILGEC or NILGEC.
The new fear would now be, so the fear of whether it's state governor that imposes, but the new fear would now be that there's some big person or big personality at that grassroots level that determines who becomes, and we don't want that. We are looking for an independent electoral body. Yes. We are working hard every year, every 4 years, to make sure that our INEC is even more independent every year. Yes. So I don't see any reason to invest.
This is the Nigerian that was criticizing the presidential election, saying that INEC was
that's democracy.
INEC collapse now.
Exactly, that's democracy. So we call out, every 4 years, you call out what their flaws are.
So that they
and
can
you
do better.
hope that you see the improvement in, why do they take them to court? The politicians take them to court too now, and they have to defend themselves. So please, I think,
they can do better.
Put all the resources into INEC, empower them better, keep training and making sure that, those who are seen to have, circumventing constitution, they are brought to book. Remember the Adamawa State INEC registrar. Yes. They are in court now. He was running away up and down, but they are in court. So
they don't catch up.
We imagine we're now doing court cases for local government up and down.
Hey. Let me take Evelyn. Good morning, Evelyn. You're live. Evelyn, you're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today? How are
Very
you,
well.
beautiful lady?
Very well.
I just wanted to know if you still wasn't something at the beginning, because I always tune into what I always watch you people. So I was wondering why she's not talking. That's all.
Go ahead. We didn't get that part.
Everybody has been talking.
Go ahead, Evelyn. Hello?
I can hear her, but you can't. It's not.
Sorry, Evelyn. I'm so sorry. We didn't hear what you said. I'm sincerely apologize. Do you have any comments on social media?
So,
what are Tube saying?
Me says, there's thing Mommy Fire says, INEC conducts federal and state executive and legislative elections, but we want to create a new electoral body for local government elections. In the same vein, we want to implement Oral Sonoye's report to reduce parastatals and agencies. Is someone not seeing the obvious conflict? Amof says local government chairman needs to be accountable. This judgment, all I see is the creation of another set of emperors and demigods at the local government level.
True.
An average Nigerian sees power as a means to turn to their turn to eat the national cake.
True.
Okay, I'm happy that Nigerians are expressing their views on this. So
Yes.
many Nigerians obviously believe that we should have INEC conduct the elections for the local government across board. Many don't. So it would have been nice to have the senator here to answer those questions, to see why the Senate is considering ensuring that this new commission is established. So
that we can also beg them to scrap it. The idea of having this sort of conversations is, if we feel that this will be taking us back from where we are coming from, all we need to do is to go forward. All we need to do is to keep reforming and refining INEC, keep making them better with all the criticisms that come. It's not because we want them to pack up, it's because we understand that they can do better. And so far, so good. For every election, they've improved, yes, and that is what we see. And we'll keep talking till they get to that point where, and I don't think there's anybody who gets to a point where there's no criticism. So we'll keep talking. That's part of our responsibilities too. So we want that the Senate will listen to us and understand that Nigerians understand what is happening, and we say no to this one. Make una no even start them. Okay. Gather the resources, gather the money, gather the consultants that you need, and equip INEC to handle all the elections. It's just increasing their purview, and that's all, please.
Let me take our final caller here. Al-Hassan from Lokoja, thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning, man. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You're live.
The topic we are discussing this morning, the federal government, INEC is they are the ones that they give the power to do elections. They are the election of the federal government, and they are doing election of state government. And local government is also another body entirely. So they're supposed to do that election. It's not that they have to go and create another thing. Because if you look into all these things, every local government in the Federation of Nigeria, they have INEC office there. So it means they are creating another thing new. How are they going to have all this money to cover all these things? And we are stuck in Nigeria, we don't have money. INEC, they have the power to do that election. INEC, after the election, if they did the last election, what are they doing in their offices? So that they cannot do another election, so they can do that. Okay. So let us educate things.
Thank you very much, Al-Hassan. I appreciate your thoughts. We have to wrap up on this, but I think really in a nutshell, we'll simply just wait. Unfortunately, the senator couldn't make it to join us, but I'd love to ask him questions. So maybe next time, the idea is to find out what they're thinking, why they want to establish this new commission, and we'll see how that goes. But in a nutshell, the most important thing is that Nigerians want to ensure that the body that handles the election of the local government is transparent and is actually works, is independent and works in the interest of Nigeria.
May they banter the bill.
May they banter.
We don't want the banter. We don't want senators. We don't want. May they banter.
What's banter?
No, understand people. May they banter.
They're not in Lagos.
They're not in Lagos.
They're not in Nigeria.
May they banter. We don't want.
This is an opportunity to
love
find
it.
ourselves.
May they banter.
May they banter.
Like
Meaning let it not work. It cannot work. So
people understand.
This is an opportunity to talk to us. No, you people need to go and learn Nigerian language.
Thank you.
They are wrapping up. We're wrapping up.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to talk to ourselves. Yeah. Because when it comes to grassroots, we then see ourselves more. Yeah. It's easier to say what is happening in Alausa, what is happening in Ikeja, what is happening in wherever the federal capital or state capitals are. But when it now comes to your local government, it's where we talk to ourselves. Yeah. If the primary school in your local government no get chair, this is the opportunity to know that you don't have a chairman. It's not that election comes, they share something, you collect. And your child, I went to a public school. I'm very proud of Our Lady of Lourdes Girls' School. That school formed me. But if you pass by that school today, you wonder who is the chairman in Surulere right now. So you want to see an improvement of the infrastructure within certain things that before chairman will say, hey, they did not give money from Alausa.
You have money.
When you are voting, don't concern yourself so much, not too much. Maybe you should concern yourself, but don't concern yourself too much with what is happening in other places. It is now where your mouth, you put your money where your mouth is exactly. When we are voting now, it's now that we'll be talking to whoever is within the local government. Remember that in local government elections that happened back then, and they went door to door because, they wanted somebody from my community to become chairman of the local government. Of course, there are about 7 other communities within that local government. And they were now knocking door to door. I was like, We didn't see people when the community had to grade the road. So you know the way to each door now to get the votes. That's when you start to question. If this year, within 4 years, the chairman does not reach to help people to even grade, talk less of to talk of interlocking, maybe in the next 2 terms, and it doesn't show, then nobody should knock on your door.
Yeah.
The local government elections concern you much more.
Yeah.
Reason why I'm saying this is because we have improvements in INEC, just as BC mentioned earlier. We know they have more technology improvement to ensure that there are no loopholes, and there's no vote buying, all of those things, and that you cast just your one vote. No ballot snatching. It is now in local government, even though you fear those boys.
Even though.
It's now that you must protect that polling box. You make sure that box, you are looking at it till the end of counting. All those counting we did, we put our phone up. It is now that it's important that you do it.
You know,
and you ensure that the right
attended
person in office.
an event recently. I told you guys when I went to meet the mayors in Coach because this is my own neighborhood.
Yeah.
She invited all the stakeholders, school owners, businesses, SMEs. She invited them to say, okay, this is what I have done. What else do you need? It was a conversation. And I was and she wanted me to MC to help stir up the conversation. So I was asking them questions, okay, what do you think? How can you, not Yoruba in English, you know, and they were asking them questions. And many of them gave ideas of what they needed, what they need concerning their schools, how to ensure that their kids can cross, you know. And I was really excited because I didn't even realize governance was that close to the people. That's how it's supposed to be. But you see, only a few know it. But what we are doing right now with this autonomy is that they've expanded it. No more school owners. All of us can knock on their doors and go to them and say, you know what, please come and, because they are in charge of healthcare, basic healthcare. They're in charge of basic education. They're in charge of your roads. Your local roads. What else are they? Your markets. Also, healthcare, environmental sanitation. They are core. They are core requirement responsibilities. So we must hold them accountable. So that's why I get really excited about this thing, because the truth is that power is coming to us, and we must really understand. Because sometimes the reason why we get frustrated as Nigerians because governor is too far away. President is too far away. We're just shouting on social media because we don't have access to them.
So, like, you know, as you described, just using her as an example of all that she's doing, even with the constraints of not having the financial backing. Now she'll be empowered to take it even further.
Because she's LCDA.
Yeah, well, but just as an example, just using her as an example. So she'll be empowered. But now also, you know that money is entering there. Your eye is going to be on her or on them or whoever it is, because your money is there and you must see it. If we see you, in this case, see, when they're in Abuja and they buy SUV, there's nothing you can do because you're in Lagos or you're in Jos. But if you see them driving SUV, after they have given them money, they can't hide, you know. So.
And they should be living amongst people.
They have to.
A chairman that is not accessible.
If you are not living in that community, please don't even bother.
If you reach local government office and your chairman is not on seat on a Monday to a Friday, think am.
Yeah.
If your chairman, you get there and one boy is saying chairman is busy for 10 hours, it's not accessible. Think am. Exactly. Because I once attempted to see the chairman of my own LCDA then, not the present one, the one then. I waited.
You did not have access.
No access. And the trucks had blocked a whole community. Shena Tonwo in the who was governor then, Fashola, in the government house that I will go and meet.
Of course not.
You should be accessible. The pictures and videos I was carrying up and down on social media, I should be able to knock on your door and say, what can you do? Even if it is not immediately within your purview, you should, as the person representing the law, call the business owner and say, no, I will not allow my roads to be so blocked. I cannot allow an emergency. Allow your trucks, prevent somebody to get to health because of your
don't drive your containers into our residential areas.
Exactly.
Our local government chairman should be accessible. I have not forgiven that chairman. Thank God, say no, they did. Since that time, yes. Because how will I go and sit at your reception and one boy?
I like what Mariam said, and I like us to end up with that, because as much as to whom much is given,
much is expected.
So we are expecting, we are expecting happy that you're going to get a budget. But we're also watching that you don't go and start doing what you shouldn't be doing with that money. So all eyes are now on you, because I can't hold Sanwo-Olu because it's very far. But you, I can hold you. I can hold your Shokoto. I can hold your Shokoto very well. Well, God, where did you get the money to buy this SUV? So we, as excited as we are, they also must know that Nigerians are going to hold them accountable. So all of us now, our homework is to go and know. We should go to names of the 774 local governments.
We know.
They are ward champions.
Because the wards make up the parliament within the local government. Ward
Exactly.
A, Ward B, Ward C, know them in your local government.
Politicians.
Know
Know
them.
the wards. They're very important.
Those are the people that usually graduate to become chairman. know them, know their house address now, and whether they are driving a Camry or they are driving...
And mark it down.
And mark it
And
up.
attend their meetings.
Yes.
Their public meetings where they talk about their budgets, their plans. I mean, I've only attended one.
I think they have to be announcing when they do the meetings.
No, they do.
They do. We don't. Just that we're not
But we
aware.
don't send them now. It's local government.
No, they don't pay seats. No, they
should make it, yes, they should allow it so that we become as stakeholders that we are.
So what the Nigerians are waiting for is for this law to be passed. Let them the commission to. I don't know if they're going to.
Let them not spoil it. We don't want commission.
Either
INEC
to let me make the banter.
Make a banter.
It does fit for your mouth.
Banter.
The banter. Or we have the NILGEC. That's the Nigeria.
You know if you call that one.
Nigeria Independent Local Government Electoral Commission. NILGEC.
NILGEC reaction.
It's Monday. It's too early for this thing. That is all
we can banter.
We are hoping that we can bring in somebody sometime this week
to
explain
yeah.
this better to us. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
But last, me there.
Banter.
Banter.